All right, get ready because today we're diving deep into the crazy world of art,
Oh, yeah.
where a banana taped to a wall can cause debate around the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it might even be worth over $1 million.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How something so simple
Yeah.
can cause such a stir.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
that's what we're talking about today. Maurizio Cattelan's Comedian, that
Yeah.
banana duct taped to a wall.
Yep.
It went viral back in 2019 when it sold for $120,000.
Yeah.
And now one of the editions is expected to sell for, get this, between $1 and $1.5 million at an auction that's coming up.
Wow.
So in this deep dive, we are going to peel back all the layers of Comedian
Yeah.
and we'll explore its origins and the reactions it provoked.
Yeah.
And why some people think it's a masterpiece and others think it's a joke.
I think it's so interesting how this piece fits into the whole history of conceptual art,
Uh-huh.
a movement that really shook up the art world.
Yeah,
Think back to Marcel Duchamp's Fountain from 1917.
right.
It was just a urinal, but he presented it as art.
Oh, yeah.
And that piece just threw everything into question.
Yeah.
What is art? Who decides? And what makes something valuable? All of a sudden, it was all up in the air.
So are you saying that Cattelan is like following in Duchamp's footsteps by like using everyday objects to make a statement?
Absolutely. Comedian, just like Fountain, makes us face those same questions.
Yeah.
It's not about how skillfully he taped the banana to the wall.
Right.
It's about the idea behind it.
Yeah.
The concept and the conversations it starts.
Okay, so how does this artwork even work? You're not actually buying that banana.
Right. So when you buy Comedian, what you get is a certificate of authenticity, instructions for installation, a roll of duct tape,
Uh-huh.
and, yeah, you guessed it, a banana.
So the buyer brings their own banana. That's interesting.
Exactly.
Seems like it adds another layer to the whole idea, doesn't it?
For sure. It emphasizes that the artwork isn't really about the banana itself.
Yeah.
It's about the idea, the gesture, what it's saying. The banana can be replaced, which just highlights how temporary the whole thing is.
I bet that drove some art critics crazy.
Yeah, you could say that.
Ah.
There were huge debates in the art world about it.
Oh, yeah?
Some critics thought Comedian was just a prank,
Right.
a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
But others thought it was a brilliant way of making fun of the art market.
Right.
Like he was highlighting how we just randomly decide what's valuable.
It seems like Cattelan is really messing with our expectations.
Yeah.
He's presenting something that looks so simple,
Uh-huh.
and then he's like, okay, so what do you think is art?
Yeah.
And how much will you pay for it?
Exactly.
It's pretty clever.
It feels like he's poking fun at how elitist the art world can be.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to it than that.
What do you mean?
Well, I think Comedian can also be seen as saying something about our consumerist culture, our obsession with new things and all the hype.
Oh, okay.
Think about it. A banana, something we eat every day, suddenly becomes the super expensive art object.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy when you think about it like that.
So is he saying we're all being tricked? That we
Yeah.
just buy into this system that decides what's valuable even if it's random?
It's definitely open to interpretation,
Mm-hmm.
but it does make us think about these uncomfortable questions.
And then there's the whole banana eating thing. You can't forget about David DeTuna,
Oh, right.
the performance artist who ate the banana at Art Basel Miami Beach.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Imagine it. This packed art fair.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's talking about Comedian.
Yeah.
Suddenly, DeTuna just walks up, peels the banana off the wall,
No way.
and eats it right there in front of everyone.
Wow. It was wild.
I can only imagine the reactions.
Oh, yeah.
What did the gallery do? Did they expect that to happen?
It was total chaos.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people just staring in shock.
Oh, wow.
DeTuna later said it was performance art,
Oh, okay.
that he was adding another layer to the piece.
Interesting.
But the gallery, well, they weren't too happy about it.
Yeah, I bet. And they took the whole installation down because of safety concerns.
So even with all that controversy,
Mhm.
Comedian still sold out.
All 3 editions were sold.
Wow.
2 went to private collectors for $120,000 each.
Okay.
And the 3rd went to the Guggenheim for an amount they didn't tell anybody.
Oh, wow.
But it was probably even more.
Yeah.
Now, one of those original buyers is selling their edition at Sotheby's.
Right.
And they think it'll sell for a lot more.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It seems like Comedian has become more than just a joke or a prank.
Mhm.
It's like it's officially part of art history now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's made people talk about the nature of art, value, and how audiences interact with art
Yeah,
in a way that few other modern artworks have.
for sure.
And that brings us to another interesting question. Did Cattelan want people to eat the banana?
Oh, that's interesting.
Was that like part of his plan?
I wonder.
Yeah.
That's a great question, and I think it's something we should look into more when we explore the artist himself.
All right, so let's talk about Maurizio Cattelan.
Okay.
Who is this guy, and what kind of mark is he leaving on the art world?
Yeah. Maurizio Cattelan, he's known for this like mischievous and satirical approach to art.
Yeah.
People call him a prankster, provocateur,
Uh-huh.
even like an art world jester.
I like that.
He's got this knack for using humor and really simple objects to make works that are both playful and profound.
It makes me think of that solid gold toilet he did, America.
Right.
It was installed at the Guggenheim,
Yeah.
and visitors could actually use it.
I know.
Talk about a statement piece.
Totally.
Would you say the comedian is similar to that,
Yeah.
challenging norms and expectations?
Absolutely. Comedian and America have a lot in common.
Okay.
Both pieces use everyday objects.
Yeah.
A toilet, a banana.
Right.
And they take them to this level of absurdity that just makes us question our values.
Yeah.
It's like he's holding up a mirror to society.
Right.
Showing us how obsessed we are with wealth and status and the things we think are important.
So he's using humor to get us to think critically about the world.
Exactly. He's not preaching or lecturing.
Right.
He's inviting us to laugh at ourselves, to
Mhm.
question what we believe, and to have a conversation about what really matters.
And comedian definitely got people talking.
For sure.
But do you think he planned all of this? Did he know people would eat the banana, or was he surprised?
It's tough to say what Cattelan is really thinking. He's
Uh,
super secretive about his work.
Yeah.
He once said, "I'm not interested in explaining my art because I don't want to limit the possibilities of interpretation."
So he's leaving it up to us to figure out what it means.
Yeah, pretty much.
But comedian keeps provoking these reactions even years later.
Yeah.
It makes you think it's more than just a joke.
It does.
Yeah.
I think Cattelan is tapping into something fundamental about us,
Okay.
our curiosity, our urge to interact with art,
Uh-huh.
maybe even our primal instinct to eat a banana when we see one.
It's almost like the artwork isn't finished until someone eats the banana.
Right.
It's really blurring the lines between the artist, the artwork, and the audience.
Yeah.
It feels very modern.
I think that's a great point.
Thanks.
We're usually taught to admire art from a distance
Right.
and be respectful.
Yeah.
But Cattelan is totally changing that. He
Yeah.
wants us to get involved, to become part of the art itself.
It makes you wonder, does eating the banana make the artwork better?
Yeah.
Or is it like vandalism?
That's the question, isn't it? There's no
Yeah.
right answer.
Right.
It all depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
Some people might say that eating the banana ruins the art,
Yeah.
while others might see it as continuing the performance, like
Yeah.
it's completing the artistic gesture.
So is there a right way to experience comedian? Or is it more about the fact that there's no right or wrong answer?
I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's open to interpretation.
Right.
There's no one meaning or message.
Uh,
It's like a mirror showing us our own values, beliefs, and sense of humor.
and speaking of humor, Cattelan is known for being a prankster in the art world.
Mm.
His pieces are always witty and kind of subversive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think comedian is his most successful prank? Or is there something more to it?
It's tempting to say it's just a prank,
Yeah.
but I think comedian is more complex than that.
Okay.
Works on different levels.
Okay.
It's funny, yeah,
Uh-huh.
but it also makes us think about big questions about art, value, and how we see the world.
So it's not just about laughing, it's about making us think and challenging our ideas about what art can be.
Exactly, and that's what makes Cattelan such an interesting artist.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to provoke us, to challenge us, to make us uncomfortable,
Okay.
but he always does it with a sense of humor,
Yeah.
reminding us that art should be engaging, thought-provoking,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, even entertaining.
Okay, so we've talked about the controversy, the banana eating, and Cattelan style.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back to that Sotheby's auction.
Okay.
Why is comedian suddenly worth so much more now?
That's a great question. And I
Mhm.
think it comes down to how the art world decides what's valuable.
So it's not just about the banana and the duct tape.
Definitely not. There's a lot more to it.
Like what?
Well, first of all, comedian has become a cultural phenomenon. It's been in tons of news articles, memes, social media posts.
Right.
It's captured people's imaginations like few other modern artworks have.
So it's the hype that's driving up the price.
It's part of it for sure,
Okay.
but also places like the Guggenheim Museum have bought Comedian.
Oh, right.
And when a big museum buys something, it gives it legitimacy.
Yeah.
It makes it more valuable.
It's like a seal of approval from the art world.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then there's the fact that art is like anything else you can buy and sell.
Uh-huh.
When more people want something, the price goes up.
So Cattelan's prank has actually become a really good investment for the people who bought it originally.
It definitely has, and I bet Cattelan finds that pretty ironic.
He's probably laughing all the way to the bank, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think there's a deeper meaning here.
Yeah.
Something that goes beyond the money.
What do you mean?
I think Comedian is ultimately about how absurd the art market is.
Okay.
It's a system that can make things worth a fortune,
Yeah.
even if they seem simple and ordinary.
Right.
And Cattelan, by playing along with the rules of the game,
Uh-huh.
is showing us how contradictory it all is.
So he's not just playing the game, he's critiquing it from the inside.
Exactly, and that's what makes Comedian such a thought-provoking and lasting work of art.
Yeah.
It'll keep people debating and challenging their ideas for years to come.
I'm excited to see what happens at the Sotheby's auction.
Me too.
Will it sell for as much as they think? Will someone try to eat the banana again?
Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
It's going to be interesting to watch how the story of Comedian continues. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Comedian, what are your final thoughts on this artwork?
Yeah.
What makes it so captivating even years after its creation?
Well, I think for me, it's how Cattelan manages to bring together humor and social commentary so well.
Mhm.
On the surface, it's this simple, almost absurd image, a banana taped to a wall.
Right.
But the more you think about it, the more you realize there's a lot more going on.
It's like he's holding up this funhouse mirror to society,
Yeah, exactly.
reflecting back all our own weirdness and contradictions.
Yeah, and he's doing it in a way that anyone can understand.
Mhm.
You don't need to be an art expert to appreciate Comedian.
Right.
It's a piece that speaks to everyone in some way.
And that's what makes it such a great piece of conceptual art.
Yeah.
It's not about how skillfully it's made or the materials he used.
Right.
It's about the idea behind it, the concept and the conversations it starts.
Comedian makes us rethink our ideas about art and value, even our own place in the world.
It's a piece that asks more questions than it answers.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it so interesting.
Definitely. And it seems like those questions are still relevant to people today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Comedian has become this cultural icon, a meme, a symbol of our times.
It's true. It's like it's gone beyond the art world
It has.
and become part of pop culture.
Yeah, and that shows how Cattelan can tap into something universal, something
Right.
that speaks to the human experience.
So what do you think is the legacy of Comedian? How will people remember it in art history?
I think it will be remembered as a really important work from the early 21st century, a piece that captured the spirit of the times,
Yeah.
a time when the lines between art and business and social commentary all started to blur.
It reminds us that art can be found anywhere,
Yeah,
even in the most unexpected places.
exactly.
And sometimes the most profound statements are made with just a simple gesture,
Right.
a banana and a roll of duct tape.
Totally. Cattelan has shown us that art doesn't have to be stuffy or confusing.
Uh-huh.
It can be funny and thought-provoking, even a little bit absurd. And that's what makes it so powerful.
So as we go about our day, let's keep Cattelan's lesson in mind.
Yeah.
Let's look for the art in everyday things, the humor in the ordinary, and the meaning in things that seem meaningless.
And maybe we'll find our own comedian out there.
Yeah.
A simple object or gesture that captures what our time is all about
Right.
and makes us question everything we thought we knew.
And hey, who knows? Maybe it'll be worth $1 million someday.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, the real value is in the conversations it starts and the ideas it inspires.
So keep your eyes open, your mind's curious,
Mm-hmm.
and your duct tape ready.
Yeah.
You never know what masterpiece you might make.
And on that note, we'll leave you to think about the deeper meaning of a banana taped to a wall.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep creating